Hey, what's up everybody? Jason here. Thanks for checking out the channel. So today I wanted to talk about all the videos I keep seeing about how no code is a trap or it's a scam and it's not going to make you a millionaire. All this type of nonsense by YouTubers that seem a little more worried about how stupid they look in their thumbnails and trying to give you motion sickness by chopping their videos up in a way to emphasize things to get their point across, right? Okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. All right, so in this video, I want to go over a few things. Number one, the common complaints that a lot of people have about no-code platforms, what I use it for, and why I started this channel. So let's start this in reverse. Now, at the time of recording this, I only have 78 subscribers, and I started this channel a couple of years ago, but really it wasn't up until May 2024, if you're watching this 30 years in the future, that I actually started to put some effort in and put some tutorials in. And I started it very much for the same reasons I started my music channel. Is YouTube can be a great place. It can also be a horribly frustrating place because most people just care about your eyeballs on their content. That's why everybody makes these stupid looking thumbnails, which by the way are recommended by a product called vidIQ, which is an AI and YouTube marketing platform that can help you optimize your videos to get eyeballs on it. And that's about the extent of it. So I started the music channel because there was too much fluff and not enough substance for people who write and record their own music at home. So I wanted more informative, less stupid, flashy entertainment stuff. And that's really why I started this one too. I wanted to keep my tutorials reasonably short. I've got a couple that are pretty long, but I want them to be informative and I want to help people figure out how to build stuff with no code. I don't need somebody to watch a 15-minute video for me to show them how to use a custom state and turn it on and off and stuff like that. So that's really the reason why I started it. And my background, I started building software in the mid-90s, so back in my day, we didn't have these things. Sorry for that stupid cut. I know I said I wouldn't do it anymore, and I promise I won't do that again. Right? Okay, that's it, I swear. Anyway, so I started building stuff in the mid-90s, and the first thing that I worked on was taking our global call center manuals. We had these gigantic 4-inch binders, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 of them, and that had all the procedures and routing information for a company called Nortel Networks, which isn't around anymore. So we supported the global employees. At the time, there were over 110,000, I think, something like that globally. And we were basically just tired of looking through these binders. So myself and a friend, we created a website using O'Reilly's Website Pro, a Microsoft Access database, and Cold Fusion. So that's what got me into development. And then I started getting into no code, I guess, maybe 2015 or 16, and more or less just for automating things in my business. Now, I would say I'm very much pro no code, and I've switched all of my stuff to no-code platforms because for somebody like me and the projects I use it on, it's very, very simple and fast and easy to use. So a couple of the projects, my main project is my own website, which is a global content licensing and training business. I've got 12,000 users. Daily usage, not that much, 300 to 400 uniques a day. And it is built on Bubble. It's a full event management platform. There's a bunch of AI tools and there's a bunch of other micro tools and a community platform and everything that's all been custom built by Bubble. And previous, I was using a site called Mighty Networks and then a couple of WordPress sites to run a lot of my online properties, and I ended up consolidating everything with Bubble, and I haven't looked back. I'm also using it with another startup project. It's pretty small. There's about 380 users, I think, across Canada that are using it. I'll say we're revenue positive, 30 to 40,000 a year, which is not much, which go ahead, throw that in the comment. See, I told you you couldn't build $1 million business with no code. But the point was, no code is perfect for creating a product market fit. So the number one complaint people have about scaling, you couldn't build anything, you're not going to be a millionaire off of it. What's the alternative? So for an example, the startup that I worked with, the founder paid a development company $20,000 to deliver a document that told her she would need to spend $1.5 million to build this monolithic, gigantic thing on a tech stack that I won't mention because when you get into you're going to fail with no code because of the platform. If you honestly think a tool or a platform is going to make your business fail, get out of software. Has absolutely nothing to do with it. There are some valid concerns, but that ain't one of them. Instead of refuting all of the common things that people don't like about no code, I'm going to give you more things to help you actually figure out how to build a successful app instead, because I really don't want to debate any of that nonsense. I've been in software for 25 years, and I know most of the stuff they're saying is just to get eyeballs on their content. So first of all, I'm going to put all these links in the description down below. The first thing that you want to do is to create a product market fit. There's a couple of great ideas out there, well, actually more than a couple, and the three that have been the most valuable for me is number one, the Lean Startup by Eric Ries, because it talks about how you actually do that. How do you find the product that is going to solve somebody's problem? So you have an idea for a product, and this is how humans work. I have an idea for an app that's going to do this. I'm going to go away and build the app and then try to sell it and figure out how to get people to use it. Wrong. You need to validate that the thing that you think you want to build is actually going to solve the problem for your customers. And there's a fellow by the name of Roman Pichler, who I used to organize events for the Agile Alliance, which is a global organization in the agile development space. And I had Roman come and do a talk on how he approaches product development. So he's got very, very simple one-page templates that can help you with everything from personas to taking a look at what your MVP could be, your product, the needs of your customers, and then how to get to a point of small experiments that are going to validate your assumptions are actually on track. So that's the most important thing to worry about, not that, oh, I need to develop all of this in secret and upfront and make it perfect and polished and build it on a platform that allows me to not get locked into a no-code platform. Nope, wrong. You need to validate that there is an actual need for your product first. So I'll put all of Roman's stuff down there. I did mention the Lean Startup. The Lean Startup was something that really revolutionized product development, and that got people focused on trying to create that product market fit. So I was working for a company at the time that spent $1.5 million in a year and a half building a product that we could not sell. We could not sell one license of this thing. And then Lean Startup came along, and that completely changed the approach. The next thing that we worked on was mobile applications. So this was in 2012, so they were nowhere near as common as they are now. And I actually used a no-code platform called Red Foundry to build a handful of prototypes for some of our mining clients, so we could validate that this was something that they actually wanted. And we did, and some of the apps that I built way back then are actually still in the App Store now. So that's really what you're worried about. Don't worry about the noise about no code being a scam or a trap or whatever. You are trying to create the problem of demand. Then once you've created that problem, for sure, you're going to lose some customers depending on how much demand you have, right? If you've got, 10 million users that sign up on the same day, odds are if you're using a no-code platform, it's not going to be able to handle that load right off the bat. But that's the problem you want to create, because now you've got social proof that there is product market fit, and then now you've got a compelling story to pitch to investors. And if you need to re-platform and rebuild on an actual real development platform, then maybe that's the route that you have to go. That's the thing with business, right? There's no rules for how to do this. You don't need to go create all of your requirements, pay a developer $50,000, $60,000 to create a 3-page app when you could do that yourself in no code. And if you create that and nobody uses it, something else is the problem. It's not the platform. All right, to get into the wrap up, because I could talk about this forever and I could tell a bazillion stories about all the software teams that I've coached that have used no-code platforms and traditional platforms and just about everything in between, and how I've worked with product companies that would focus on creating new products for new markets or new products for existing markets and all that kind of stuff. Drop a comment if you want to hear about that stuff. Nobody does. They want the shiny things. So that is the biggest lesson, is don't worry about all of these videos that scare you into not trying something with no code, because your goal is to create a product market fit. And that was probably the biggest lesson. I did mention this when I talked about Lean Startup. That was the biggest lesson I learned from a Lean Startup weekend that I went to, is You want to create the problem of demand, and then you need to do everything you possibly can to fulfill that demand. That means if you need to do a few things manually, if you need to copy and paste spreadsheets into Google Doc and make this duct tape solution, that's what you need to do. That's how you build a successful company. You don't build a successful company by using a specific no-code platform or hiring a development team to build something that's just based on a pile of your assumptions. So work on what are the assumptions you have? Why do you think the idea or the product you have is going to solve a problem for a particular set of customers? Create personas, create cohorts, and start building prototypes as quick as possible. And then when it gets to a point, you may be able to scale it with some no-code solutions. It really depends. Like people who say you can't scale with no-code, they're 100% wrong. There's ways that you can scale these types of things. But if you've created enough demand for your product, you might have enough paying users where you actually can hire a developer or two to start building a mix of things and maybe moving off of a no-code platform. So there is no right answer for this. I can't say, yes, go use no-code, it's the best, because it does have its pros and cons. And I can't say, and these other YouTubers certainly can't say that you should not use those things because they're a trap or a scam. And the problems that they fell into, one of them I watched was basically they didn't know how to use the no-code platform and they built something that was unmaintainable. I'm like, how is that no-code's fault? So there's a whole bunch of other angles to this story, but if you do want to learn how to build stuff with no code, definitely smash that subscribe button, as all the cool kids say, and drop a comment below with what do you think will be the most useful for you for getting your idea out into the world. Thanks a lot for checking it out.